The 1960s dessert table was a magical mix of elegance and chaos. Half the dishes looked like works of art, and the other half looked like science experiments. Today, we're digging into 10 desserts from the 60s people just don't eat anymore. Some might make you nostalgic, others might just make you nervous. At number 1 is ambrosia salad. This fruity potluck classic was the fancy salad of its day. Canned pineapple, mandarin oranges, marshmallows, shredded coconut, all bound together with whipped topping. Basically, you just opened some cans, tossed in a bag of marshmallows, and called it gourmet. If you're talking about the 60s, you can't forget the dramatic showstopper of the day, baked Alaska. A sponge cake base topped with ice cream, smothered in meringue, then baked just long enough to toast the outside while the inside stayed frozen. It wasn't dessert, it was performance art. At number 3 is my all-time favorite, banana pudding with vanilla wafers. Layers of bananas, pudding, and vanilla wafers stacked into a creamy dream. You chill it in the fridge until the wafers softened into cake-like layers. It was no baked genius, and everyone's grandmother swore hers was the best. At number 4 is pineapple upside-down cake. This cake was Instagram ready before Instagram existed. You'd line the pan with pineapple rings and cherries, pour the batter over, and flip it after baking to reveal a glossy caramelized masterpiece. It was the ultimate mid-century mic drop. Halfway through the list is Tunnel of Fudge cake. This was a legend from the 1966 Pillsbury Bake Off. You baked a chocolate bundt cake, and like magic, a gooey fudge core appeared in the middle. It made bundt pans a kitchen must-have, and probably fueled half the PTA meetings that decade. Next is grasshopper pie. This neon green marvel was as boozy as it was minty. You'd fold marshmallow cream and whipped cream with creme de menthe, then pour it all into a chocolate cookie crust. It looked radioactive, but nobody complained. Next up is chiffon pie. Lighter than cheesecake, fluffier than custard, chiffon pies were all about whipped egg whites folded into lemon, lime, or orange fillings. Poured into a crust and chilled, they had that cloud-like texture people thought was the height of sophistication. At number 8, we have the tipsy parson, also known as trifle cake. This layered dessert soaked sponge cake in sherry, stacked it with custard and fruit, and topped it with whipped cream. Served in a glass bowl, it screamed fancy, even if all you really did was layer leftovers and add booze. Next is coconut cream pie. This diner classic was a 1960s sweetheart, a flaky crust filled with creamy coconut custard, topped with a mountain of whipped cream and toasted coconut. It was rich, tropical, and felt exotic in a decade when canned pineapple was considered adventurous. And finally, how could we forget chocolate fondue? Thanks to the fondue craze of the late 60s, dipping fruit, marshmallows, and cubes of cake into melted chocolate became the ultimate groovy party trick. All you needed was a fondue pot, a few long forks, and a lot of napkins. So there you have it, 10 1960s desserts that have vanished from our dinner tables. Which one would you want to bring back? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel before you go.